If you are not a part of the Medicare Gurus community and you want to be, DM me. I don't know. So I wanted to say this, don't waste time, okay? There is one thing that we cannot get back. Jeff, tell him.
T-I-M-E. And get it back.
What I'm going to tell you today is that if you waste time, you're wasting the one resource you can't get back. You can waste money. We can always make more money. By all means, you make some money, spend it. It's for you to spend. But preferably spend it on other things that make you money. That's it.
Food poisoning every 2 months, it's stupid. You don't. Nobody does. How many of you have ever had food poisoning? Raise your hand. Okay. Now, how many of you had it more than once? All right. Good morning, good morning. We're going to go over some numbers. You ready? All right, so first thing we're going to talk about is office talk time. So right now I still can't track West Main, but we're going to get to where we can track West Main. I need to talk to Megan and Kelly later about trying to help me fix that. I want to show y'all what I see for the other office so I can get it to where I can track this office too. The office talk time at Thomas Street was 2,460 minutes, 635 total calls last week. Okay? Does anybody know how many minutes there are in a 40-hour work week for somebody? 2,400. So we had one person's full talk time for a full week as talk time, a little bit over that. 2,400 minutes in a week. This is 1/6 of the minutes worked in the office last week were spent on the phone. So I think it can go. I think it can go a little bit higher. Maybe not Stark can't go any higher because Stark had the most talk time, and he's the top agent for the week. So give Stark a round of applause. Do you think that there's a correlation, Stark, between the amount of time you spend on the time and getting 36 apps in a week in May? I think there is. So there you had 71 calls, 584 minutes on the phone, which is 25% of the entire work week on the phone. So that's pretty good. I feel like everybody should shoot for being able to spend, every agent should be on the phone at least 25% of their work week.
I didn't know I was on the phone that much.
You were. 25% at the time that you were working of a 40-hour work week, which you probably work a little more than that, but 25% of an average work week you were on the phone. And so a lot of people I see thinking about how they're going to make the next sale not on the phone. They're not spending the time on the phone. They spend way more time working themselves up about it. I saw a meme of somebody, y'all saw it in the group in Medicare Gurus, where it was Rocky like working out. He was saying getting ready to make a phone call, and it was like he was having to do a whole workout routine. Too many people are that way, and they blame it on being introverted. There's no such thing as being introverted. Everyone's an introvert if they want to be. Everybody is, you know. I'm not default who I am. I'm not like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to get up and tell people what to do. You know, it's not my default. I had to become that person, and everybody is an introvert at their default. But to get on the phone doesn't require 30 minutes of, you know, working yourself up to do it. You know who's second most was on the phone? Guess. Newest agent.
Jackson.
And still, you know, keeping right on par with the most senior agents in the office. He's spending time on the phone. A ton of time. Actually, Jackson had the most individual calls, 87 phone calls, 358 minutes on the phone. So what does that tell me? He had more phone calls. Stark is staying on the phone longer with sales being made. He's having that conversation longer because the magic happens in that conversation, getting them from A to Z, A to the close, right? Jackson is putting in the work, and so it won't be long before Jackson will be competing with Stark for that top agent spot. All right, so West Maniacs, we're still trying to get all that set up so we can see what happened. I know if I could track it, Johnny would have a lot of talk time. You know, Johnny would have a ton of talk time, which, you know, correlates with his app count in comparison to our office over here, which is in inception phase. So there's some cop out for us there, but no excuses, right? So I want to get in the total apps last week. Actually ended up being 142 This is a little bit off when I went back in, and I think it's because of where the weekend cutoff was or something, or maybe some apps didn't have the right stuff to get triggered to the board. MedSups, 38, PDPs, 23, MAPDs, 3, cancer, 30 apps, heart and stroke, 9, hospital indemnity, 4, accident, 2, life, 5 apps, dental vision hearing, 17, short-term medical, 4, which actually you guys are, and this is irrelevant too, but you're putting, anytime you put NatGen, you're putting short-term medical. Some of those products are accident or hospital indemnity or cancer or something like that. And I'm just going to count it the way it was on there. 4 short-term medicals, 7 ACA apps, Obamacare, all Molina. Our entire hierarchy had 271 applications right now in pending status that I can see. 372 approved applications, or I'm sorry, submitted applications last week. So that's pretty good. Applications were processed last week with only 72 agents submitting an application, so that's an average of 5.167 applications per producing agent in our hierarchy. I bet you Integrity and all these big guys can't say that. I bet you their average is like 1 or 2. So anyway, we're doing a really good job at it. I think we had a lot of applications submitted last week, and clearly Thomas Street did a great job. So give Thomas Street a round of applause. We're going to change our names here to West Maniacs and Tomboys. And the West Maniacs are coming for the Tomboys, just so you know. Okay? We're not going to take anything from you guys. You're still going to get everything you're getting, but we're going to develop an entire new lead sources, completely separate lead sources, and we're going to compete, and it's going to be 2 different models. We're going to see, we'll see if you guys can keep up. Okay. So last week in West Maniacs, what we can see is we actually see 28 applications in agency block, and Johnny had 17 of them. So that's what it shows. So Johnny is 17. Mike, brand new, 11 apps were in there. Really good. Really good, Mike. Good job. Did you spend a lot of time on the phone, Mike?
Yeah.
Most of your action came in houses?
Yeah.
How many apps did you get in one house? What was the most?
4 and 2 more for the same guy in June.
Awesome. Awesome. So give Mike a round of applause. So I'm going to give you guys some money because I set out a bonus structure for the Thomas Street office, and we're going to put one for West Main. It's going to be a little bit different right now because we're not at that level yet. But we said that if you got to 95 app threshold, 105 app threshold, and then 115 app threshold, you had different bonuses that you would get paid out, right? So the only thing that I didn't put on there, Rob, is I can't pay the bonus on an ACA app itself either. I said no PDPs, ACA is just not enough room there.
Yeah.
But the rest of them I did pay out, and so I got, I'm going to do it in order of size, and I might have to shred Zach's. There was wasn't there a thing in there I put that if you got food poisoning, your bonus truck got shredded?
Well, actually, if you don't show up, that Monday, you don't get your like if they have a holiday or something.
I'm gonna need a doctor's excuse that says food poisoning for you to get this bonus check. Food poisoning.
Or it goes to Kelly.
Yeah, or it goes to Kelly. All right, so
DoorDash's check.
first one, Rob Sevilla gets a bonus check.
Yeah, man. Thank you, Rob. Yeah.
Justin Stark gets a big bonus check. And I did throw in another $100 to the top agent of the week. So you get another $100. So, all right, guys. That was a good week, but I think we can do a lot better. I think we can definitely do a lot better over here. I'm not sure Stark can do any better. I think he's doing it. So you just keep doing what you're doing, man. Jackson, you keep doing what you're doing. Zach and Rob, I mean, honestly, y'all are doing a great job. If you can keep that pace, then when we add Holt over there and you can get him up to that pace, he'll be at another level. So just keep doing what you're doing. I mean, I think you guys are doing, you know, I think you can spend more time on the phone, but I also think that if you were doing that many applications, you probably had some walk-in business and stuff that distracting you. So good job. West Maniacs, I just think we just have to get the lead flow off the ground a little bit better and get some of these guys putting in the activity necessary over time, and it'll build up. It's that pipeline we talked about. I mean, how many people were calling you back that you talked to a week ago, 2 weeks ago started.
Even back to January, I had like 4 or 5.
Yeah, and that helps a lot. So when you're putting in the consistent activity to get the 25 app week, but then 11 apps come from previous stuff that just call in and say, I'm ready to do that, I'm ready to do that. That's when you have a 36 app week. It's not every week in May you're going to have a 36 app week, but that happens because you're keeping that consistent flow going. I wanted to say another thing too, something I was thinking about. I was in some of the notes I was looking back over when I was at that SWAT event. I'm talking about, you know, people. Everybody knows that you're the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time around, right? And so, you know, from my perspective, like, I can't pick 5 people that you should all spend time around. I mean, obviously, if I could make 5 specific people, anybody in the world spend it, I could probably put together a pretty good dream team. But as I've evolved over time, I've spent time around people that I thought I wanted to be like, and that has changed over time. Now I'm trying to take a more well-rounded approach to, you know, who I'm spending time around and who I'm devoting that time to. But a lot of you guys need to look at who do you want to be, where you want to be, spend time with those people, steal their time, whoever it is. You know, you have to go after that time because it's going to raise you up. But the easiest thing to do is to stop spending time around people that aren't helping you get anywhere. You know, that are creating this limited mindset that you can't break through another barrier and become a happier, better person. But as that changes and your income rises or whatever it is that is important to you, you know, you might say, okay, now I've focused so much energy on this, over here suffering, and then you have to spend time around somebody else that is helping you. That's something I learned at the SWAT event was, you know, I was spending time with, you know, hustle mentality, 90-hour, 100-hour work week people are making a bunch of money, but it might make me lag in the area of compassion and spending time around people and my family that makes me, you know, happier and more well-rounded. So that changes over time. But right now you need to look at who you want to be and pick 5 people that you can spend time around and cut everybody else out. I mean, I really believe that. I mean, much smarter people than me have said it before, but we tend to not listen. Like, how many people are writing down their goals every day? Raise your hand if you're doing it. Okay. But how many people have heard you should write down your goals every day? Okay. See, we know that it's true. Either you don't believe it and you think it's bullshit, or you know it's true and you're not doing it because you're lazy or you'd rather thumb through TikTok or sleep an extra hour or whatever that is. You know, it doesn't take that long to do it, and it's extremely important. You know, I think it's very, very important for everybody at any stage in life, wherever you're at. So that's all I'm gonna say today. I think we had a great week. I want another good week. We're gonna be in Vegas, some of us, but most of the sales guys are gonna be here, so y'all should still crush it. So give yourself a round of applause and let's have a good week. All right, Johnny?
You want me to say something?
Say it.
I got something to say.
Okay, say it, Johnny.
So he was talking about writing down goals, and I think it's huge. Unfortunately, I'm not one who does it. But here's the thing: we all do a lot of bullshit during the day, regardless. Even though we're hitting 36, 25 apps, all this crap, we do a lot of shit. We'll be looking at TikTok, like he said, looking at these things. It takes 5 seconds or a minute, whatever, to write down your goals. I don't do it, and I need to. So I will say that in front of everybody. But one other thing I think is very important is talking about the goals that you have with people and letting them be known instead of writing them down and keeping it to yourself. Speaking it is just as important, if not more important, than writing it down.
But it holds you accountable. When you've told someone that you're going to do something, then when you don't do it, you look like a fraud, like you're just weak, and that holds you accountable. It's also very important to write it down as if it's happened, and that, I don't know, what do they call it, self-actualization or something like that. So I mean, it's programming you to eliminate things in your life that aren't getting you closer to where you want to be in life.
It gets faster.
Yeah.
Like the first few times you have to think about it, right? But then now them are your goals, and every day you're writing them down. It's just a reminder, and then every now and then you'll change one.
It becomes natural thought.
That's my problem, is that if I start writing goals down, which I have this blackboard beside my bed, and when I write my goals on it, they'll continuously change. All the time I'll be like, I don't even care about this anymore. And I'll write another one down.
You mean you don't care about the tiger with the gold leash anymore?
Well,
That's the one.
You erased that?
well, it's
the
good
one.
because like years later you'll come back and find it. Like I just found I just found a bunch of the worksheets that I done in 2018 looking at goals. I was just going over goals, and it's crazy about 3 years.
The
what
difference
that difference
in what
my
your
goals
goals were.
were then to now. So they change over time, but I think it's all about perspective and where you're at in your life. And
Well, they changed because you wrote them down to begin with, and you pursued a goal in some way that got you to where you are. And so your goal's going to change because you made progress. People who never make progress from the baseline, their goal doesn't change because they haven't gotten anywhere for it to change. They're still, I still haven't hit that goal, so I could keep striving for that, So it's I don't know. I mean, you need to read about it. Read Think and Grow. Everyone should read Think and Grow Rich. If you haven't read it, or listen to the audio book, or there's damn video adaptations to the book. Same thing with the Bible. You should all read the Bible. There's video adaptations, just so you know. I need those. But when you read Think and Grow Rich and it talks about it, or even like Tony Robbins has a book, Awaken the Giant. They're all talking about what you can do to program your mind to eliminate bullshit and work towards where you're going. And it might sound like there are some people, like I saw some of them online this weekend. One guy was a real dickweed. They are mostly losers, like mostly complete losers, that they think it's all fluff. It's all fluff because they haven't experienced it, and they're such cynics that they can't get outside their own head, and they want to hold everybody else back from experiencing the effect. Has anybody ever experienced an effect in your life where the work or the activity that you put in or the thought that you put into something brought you to another level and you really felt it and it felt great? Some might call it divine. It might be like something that feels very, yeah. but if you've had that happen, it changes your mindset. A lot of these guys that are like online this weekend, I was seeing them that were, acting like going to an event wasn't worthwhile. A lot of times that's because their mindset is so shut off to the outside world that they were expecting like some sort of like black and white marketing tip that gave them free leads and higher commissions and someone to sell it for you. And why didn't you deliver that to me? Well, because that's not what it's about. It's about changing who you are so that you can create that path. Nobody's going to give it to you. You can't get it given to you. I can give you nudges in the right direction, but you're going to have to go and do it. And so it's very important. The writing down your goals is one of the only practical steps. Writing them down daily as if they've already happened. I am, living in a nicer house, or have a nicer car, or my children are very healthy and we're all happy. Whatever that is, that's like the basic rubric, but it could be something goofy. I have a Lamborghini Huracan in my garage that I never drive, just because I fucking want it. Whatever. It can be anything for anybody. Doesn't matter what it is. Whatever that goal is, you write it down. And if you write it down like it's happened, it'll happen. If you keep writing it down and keep putting in the work towards it, those practical steps is where it happens. But the practical steps don't come until you've changed your mindset to believe that you're going to do those practical steps. If you don't believe in it, you're not going to do it because you don't think it's real. You don't think that it's real. If you don't believe what I'm telling you about residual income and compounding effect of putting in the work and writing Medicare supplement applications and helping Medicare beneficiaries one by one, building a massive train link fence, you're never going to put in the incremental work that's necessary for 2 to 3 years to really feel the effect and go, holy shit, that changed my life. You're not going to put it in because you don't believe it. But if you believe it, you'll do it. So,
Can I say something?
you can say something too.
All right. So when you're writing down goals, it's important, or listening to them every single day, because it's brain training. So basically, when you write them down, you're fighting against that old mindset. Like you're constantly fighting against it. And what happens is the more you write it down, it becomes a natural thought. And whatever you naturally think, you naturally do. So like your actions will follow what you think.
That cleared it up for me, brother. Seriously.
And there's
That's true.
a rubric to go by. When you write your goals down, they call it SMART, right? So you want your goal to be specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-based. So specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-based. like, and use that as like, okay, like he said you want a Lamborghini, is that realistic? Like, you know, is it, it could be, right? It's not out of the realm of possibilities for any of us.
That'd be a good thing to slap on the wall right there, I think.
So, I mean.
Yes, that actually is smart, so I like that. And the time part is very important because most of the time people, when they're writing them down, people that are really good at this, will write down, you know, it's July 2023. Like they'll literally put down like it's 5 years from now, you know, it's 2025 and I have X. And Think and Grow Rich, he actually puts monetary numbers on it.
Yep.
He talks about I'm making X amount or I have this much in my savings account. A lot of times it could be about how much I've saved, you know, and that'll help you not spend on things that are stupid, whatever it is, you know.
Bob Proctor said if you don't make it specific, you don't know what to work towards. So if you just say, I want more money, you'll get satisfied off $20 because it's more money versus getting satisfied saying, I want $100,000. So
What's
you got to be
interesting about the
specific.
events,
Yeah, like you
from
just said, specific.
the cynics is all the experts will tell you if there's no emotion behind the goals, you won't go after it. You got to have that like, you know what I mean, whether it's your family, whatever it is, you got to have that emotion behind that goal. So like for me, I put it this way, I'm a very experiential person. So I love going to events because it's an experience. You know what I mean? I do like the data that we learn, but more than that, a lot of these cynics, they've never experienced anything. They're just trying to go pure science. Well, if it's not this, not this, not this, and it's just too dry. There's no passion behind it.
Yeah, people are motivated completely differently.
Sure.
So it could be something different for everybody. Like, you know, there's a couple things that drive me. One, I want to create generational wealth to where no matter what my kids go through, they don't, you know, they could be complete losers and be fine because dad made so much fucking money, it doesn't matter. I mean, that's a goal for me. Whatever, you know, that's to each his own. Another one for me is, you know, there were people like, you know, Tempest's algebra teacher in high school that told her that she shouldn't be with me because I wasn't going to go anywhere in life and she should be with X kid because he was on the basketball team. So I want to dwarf them so that they look and be like, wow, I'm a loser. Justin Brock is by far not a loser, you know. And I want them to, what they'll do, and this is the hater thing, they'll switch course and be like, money's not everything. Well, like, money ain't all I have, motherfucker. So kiss my ass, you know. So, you know, but that, for me, it drives me. It's whatever. I know Kelly pretty well. I bet money, or I bet the haters and the naysayers motivate her because that's how she is, you know. You know, for my wife, that's probably part of it too. But it's probably something completely different, you know. It's family and happiness and that, you know, that well-balanced picture and being able to, but a lot of it is, you know, it gets into these things that we're told aren't good. So like maybe it's not like the purest thing for me to say I'm motivated by making people that doubted me, you know, think, you know, I was wrong. And maybe people say, well, that's not what Jesus would do. Well, I'm not Jesus. So, you know, I'm not. So, you know, that's not who I am. I like it. I like being able to do more. Now, in that pursuit, I'm not willing to give up my ethics to do it. I want us to get there by helping more people. And the thing about the more activity that we do in an arena where we're actually putting our customers in a better spot than where we found them every time, what does it matter how much money I make doing that? If I become a billionaire doing that, but I left millions of people in a better spot than I found them, who cares how much money somebody makes at doing that? There's nothing wrong with it. You know, it's not robbing banks or ripping people off. So, you know, you guys, I think some of you, you know, you may struggle with that as you get to where you're making more money. And we're in Mississippi, probably the poorest state out there. And there's people in Mississippi that as you make more money, they'll be like, why do you need that much money? You should never have. There's been people in my family like, why do you need more than $10,000 in the savings account? What are you talking about? Of course you need more than $10,000 saved up. You know, I mean, shit, I bet everybody after COVID happened and they shut the whole country down, wish they had more than $10,000 in their savings account. But anyway, you know, you just have to get outside of the mindset of others. And that's why hanging out with the right people and writing down your goals is so important. Because when you're hanging out around people that don't think small like that, you know, you're not going to think small. or you're not gonna be, you know, and a lot of those times those people are your parents, right, Timothy? Those people are parents. I mean, my dad's moderately successful, and he does it to me. Oh, you know, you need to blah 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 blah. You know, it's always like, you know, this mentality that blocks, you know, where you're going in life, because most people have a point where they're like completely, you know, content. I'm not content. I want to always do better, and I think all of you should always be striving to do better. And I think most of you are doing a really good job at it. So congratulations. I hope you have a great week, and give us all another round of applause.